lifeblood of a recruitment business is consultants. Charlie is, as I'm sure you know, and they're key for me. The people that make me money, and that kind of and that I invest so much time and effort into as well. I've spoken to them. The managers have spoken to them, and again, there's some key areas that for our business, for Clarity Consultants here, that our consultants want to know. And it won't surprise you, a lot of them are revenue based, but some of them aren't revenue based as well. And this is kind of crucial for me as a leader of this business to get right. So one of the things that they want to be able to do is quickly see, and again, quickly, without spreadsheets and without trying to dive through CRM data, but they want to quickly see how they're billing and performing. Two slightly different things, as you know that. They want to quickly see all of their KPIs in one place. So things like number of temps out, billing, as I said, without having to go into CRM, which traditionally CRMs aren't the easiest place to find all of your key KPIs and key metrics in order to kind of do more and find out where you are. They want to see where they need to focus on to improve their performance, or to achieve higher levels of performance. And the way I think of that is, what do I do next in my day? We've all been there. We've sat down at our desk after lunch and we thought, what's the next best thing that I can do? And I think that that's one of the kind of things that they want to see, and I want them to see as well, because I don't want them sitting idle looking at the BBC Sport section of that website. I want to see them kind of a tool that helps them along. And finally, they want to know how they can get promoted. They want to progress through this business. We invest a lot into our kind of growth and training. And showing how we can get promoted is key for my people. So it's kind of four key areas really for consultants, and I'd love to see how NorthStar can help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully I can remember all four. Giving consultants access to data and giving them a place to go to help with their productivity and performance was just key for us. So NorthStar's been built by recruiters specifically for the recruitment industry. So all of us have been recruiters, been recruitment managers, and we started NorthStar Life looking at the most important part of our business, like you said, our individuals, and what do they need to make those incremental gains, and to know, right, what am I working towards and how can I be better? So rather than data and reporting being something that's only for managers, we're giving it to consultants as well, but just the bits that are relevant to them. So each of your consultants will have their own NorthStar world, their own NorthStar dashboard. So this is Andy's page. This is where he'll come into when he first logs in every day. He can see on the front screen just key information that's going to help him. So you mentioned revenue, which of course is important, and we can see it in various places. But we can see billing straight away on the front screen, or depending on the language your agency uses, this would be different. Of course, you don't have to change the way you do things for NorthStar. So Andy can see where he's at against target this month, and he might be feeling a little bit scratchy. He's in the purple here, and if we've thought about the colours we've seen on some of the other pages, purple is our kind of midway point. But what he can see on the next one below is where he's at year to date. So sometimes we don't just go through in recruitment and every month's a billing wonder. We do have a bit of a roller coaster that we'd like to even it out. So yes, he's maybe not where he wants to be this month, but he can see that he's on track year to date, but also a prediction for the year end. So consultants are not having to keep their own spreadsheets. They're not having to go and bug your finance team all the time. This is all there for them to see and relevant to them. It's pulling through fee splits. It's it's looking at all the bits in the background straight through from the CRM. The dominant thing though on the front screen, so I've mentioned financials as that was, you said, the sort of key thing that they want. But we built into NorthStar a score, which is unique to NorthStar, but with the idea that, how could we show consultants and their managers, we saw that score on the star on the manager page, how can we give them an idea of how kind of well-rounded they are in their role at the moment, and are they doing all the things they need to be doing? So traditionally in recruitment, we know who the big billers are, and we reward and recognise those, and we still want big billers in our business, of course. But like you said, there's lots of other things that your consultants need to do to be superstars at Clarity. So it's either things they need to do to put them in a position to be big billers, or you'll have people in your organisation that are really good at BD, if that sounds like BT, BD, business development, or they're going to be the next great mentor or manager. And these things might not necessarily come out as cash straight away, but by pulling in not only financials but also KPIs and action points, which is also unique to NorthStar, we're getting an idea of how well-rounded our consultants are. And these action points allow us to bring in those more sort of qualitative elements. So things that might either put a consultant in a good position, like I said, to make placements, or just in a good position to be a long-standing superstar at Clarity. So these are they're the management tasks. They're the things that you will set for your consultants because you know they're going to help them. And normally they get written down in notepads and forgotten about maybe. So by tracking them in NorthStar, they can't be forgotten about. But also when I tick these off, that turns green, and hopefully you saw that the score increased as well. So we're recognising, we're rewarding people for doing those extra pieces. But the score's also got a weighting behind it as well. So of course you'll have trainees that come and join that we're not expecting them to bill yet. So their score will be greater weighted on KPIs and action points. Your big billers probably on billing. So you can read an awful lot into that score. You can see who your future superstars are going to be, because if they're doing all the things you set them to do now, there's a high score, that billing is going to come. Or you can see if people start to become, disengaged, or they're losing the love a bit, they need a bit of help, they need some training. You'll see it in the score before you get that, horrible phone call of, I can't do this anymore, or before billing starts to drop. So really powerful piece there. But from this front screen, your consultants will probably most often jump to a KPI page, and this is what you were asking for. So where can I see all my metrics in one place? And this is their North Star. So this gives me as a consultant, gives Andy as a consultant, a visual representation of where he's at against target. So when he gets back from a nice lunch in the sun this afternoon, he can see, right, it's very clear what things I need to do here. I've got to get some BD done, and I'm not registering candidates. But it kind of allows us to also just critique a consultant, or see the pieces of the puzzle, because we've got a lot in the green here, so we're making placements, which is great. Probably because we've picked up jobs, we've sent CVs, and we've got interviews. Because I'm looking at a perm example here. But am I keeping an eye on next month? Am I keeping an eye on pipeline? Well, if I've got no BD calls and I'm not registering new candidates, where are those jobs going to come from, and where are those CVs going to come from for me to be able to fill them? So it's pulling all the pieces together, and you can get into more detail. You can look under these numbers. The NorthStar is not just a set of individual dials where you can see, have I hit a KPI for KPI's sake? So we might have some jobs here that we're not getting points to our scores from because we haven't worked them properly. If you as an agency set, I want you to cover off at this level. So we're getting into the real detail of not just, oh, I've hit a number, but what's the quality activity that we know for Clarity helps our consultants to improve. So they can critique themselves. A manager can really easily see where they're at. But the final, I think I've covered 3 of the 4. So the final one that you did ask about was about promotion, and we actually have a page which is called Roadmap on this. You can rename it, people do, which was set with promotion criteria in mind, really. So every consultant knows how much they have to bill to get promoted, but chances are you've got within your business, there's certain things that they need to do. They don't just hit a billing target and then there you go, as a pay rise and a flash car. There's probably other things they need to excel at or be good at. So these can all be tracked within NorthStar, and they stick to the individual. You can have your sort of longer term appraisal with your manager. And yes, I've mentored that trainee. That's one step toward my career promotion. So we're giving consultants access to my data. What is it that I need to excel in my role? And this star will look different for everyone, because you might have resources who aren't doing BD, don't need interviews, so that'll be a different shape for everyone. But what do I need to excel this month? Where am I at in the context of my year? What do I need to do to get to the next level?
So really, what it's giving the consultants, exactly as you've just said there, it's giving them that career progression, but also the day-to-day, minute-to-minute progression as well. What do I need to do, kind of short-term, medium-term, long-term, to get where I want to go in this business, which is crucial for any recruitment business, right? Being able to kind of to see what the future looks like. We have such high turnover in the industry, and a lot of it's down to lack of visibility and lack of understanding the targets and what's expected. And that is the opposite end of the productivity spectrum. I think when we look at it, that's how to really block productivity, is to make it so that nobody knows what productivity looks like. This is great, right? Obviously, setting the North Star where you want to kind of end up, and then working towards that to achieve it is key. And I guess, that's an ever evolving and moving cycle. You move to one step of promotion, we reset the North Star, you move to the next step of it, and that goes for anybody. Presume in non-billing roles also, in kind of, you mentioned like resources or admin, they could have their own kind of appraisal system set up in this, which obviously doesn't pull through CRM data, but I presume it will just pull through other system data at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. So if I go back a level on my team summary, let's go to Emma's team. So these were consultants, but if we look at her managers, and I hover over Chris and go into his monthly development plan, his dashboard, his looks completely different, as you can see. So if he's not a billing consultant, we don't need to set him a financial target and BD calls, but what are the metrics that he needs to, the action points he needs to do? He can still be on the leaderboard, or you can take him off. You can choose to. Emma hasn't set Chris any roadmap items. What is his promotion criteria? But it also makes it so for Chris as a manager, what do I need to do to get to the next level? If he's thinking about it for his consultants, but what about your managers? Do they know how they are, part of Clarity as a whole and what they're working towards? Or like you mentioned, an operations, someone in operations or HR. Leaderboards. We have a leaderboard that you can push around to big screens. It's always about the billing consultants. What about your admin assistant who's absolutely smashed all of their Q3 targets? They could be the top of a leaderboard, and they can be in there with the sales teams as well. So it's a really nice way to have that transparency, that visibility that you said about. We're all speaking one truth, and we can all be part of the success of the business if we all know where we're going.